Well, I don't know if it's heat, but it's definitely something. Christian Ballard, sports journalist here at BSM, Ballard Sports Media. There was definitely some darts thrown from Deigo Pavia for South Carolina. He kind of took a jab at them. But I'm going to be honest and give my thoughts. I don't know if he necessarily trash talked or took a jab at Alabama. Now, I will admit, a couple weeks back, Ryan Williams was interviewed somewhere, or maybe he tweeted or whatever he did, and he came out and he said, we're going to kill an ant with a sledgehammer in, response, or really just like someone I think had asked him about Vanderbilt in that game, and he came out and said that. And Deigo Pavia, basically what Deigo Pavia did was he ripped on the Big Ten. He did confirm that he had an offer in NIL money for $4 million. And I get this from On3 Sports, from Nick Schultz, put out just the other day, or like yesterday or today, whatever. So he had a NIL offer and stuff. Anyway, that could be something else later on. But what he said about the Big Ten, he said was that he wanted to play with the best and not with the Big Ten. He wanted to call the SEC the best, which I would agree to that. Then he kind of called out like Nebraska's and Ohio State's and Purdue's and all that. Let me get in this article here a little bit. But I don't, basically what I'm trying to say about this is I have not seen any reports or heard anything where he took a jab at Alabama. There have been Alabama fans on Twitter crying about it. There have been, some reports, and I'm not necessarily saying it's false or fake, but I don't think he necessarily ripped on Alabama. I think he's just having this self-confidence in him that he could probably beat Alabama again. I think there's a fine line and a difference between saying you're going to beat a team and then straight up dogging on that team and trash talking and all this other nonsense. I think there's a fine line between that. If he comes out and he says, I think we'll be good enough this year, and he kind of came out and said he could even win a championship with Vanderbilt. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. I never, throw that aside. Personally, I think that you got to be realistic with championship odds and stuff, obviously. But the way they played and the way they returned production and everything from last year, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world. So he came out, he had that confidence. But he didn't trash talk or bash Alabama. He did not do that. Deigo Pavia came out and straight up said, I think we're good enough to win a championship, and we do go to Alabama. And he basically said, yeah, I think we could beat them again. That's it. That's all he said. He had confidence. That's it. I'm not taking anything away from him. I mean, credit to him. He won last year. Vandy won 40-30, 40-35, 5-point game. Whatever. It's not like they blew us out. Not like they beat us up. It was a big shootout, and part of it was because of Deigo Pavia and his offense. But I'm making this video to say that this idea that Deigo Pavia is dogging on Alabama and trash talking, I think some people out there that believe that kind of have the wrong idea and are misinformed. I think he's just got a bunch of self-confidence, not like to the point he has an ego or anything. He might a little bit. I mean, what football player doesn't, right? They want to be the best. They think they're the best. They try to go prove it. But that's just my opinion. That's my take on this whole situation. I do like Pavia. I like Clark Lee. I like Vanderbilt. I like what they were able to do last year. I hate that it came at the hands of my Crimson Tide. But at the same time, credit where it's due, they were the better team that day. And you saw that. And it's possible you see that this year when they come to Tuscaloosa. But also, I'm not going to predict that game yet. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on this situation in the comments. I love you. Happy Wednesday. Jesus loves you. We'll see you later.